Let me paint you a picture. It is November 21st, 2025. One of the most powerful women in reality television history sits down and writes a statement. She has a Grammy on her shelf. She has a Broadway credit on her resume. She has restaurants in Atlanta, a business empire worth tens of millions, and 14 seasons of television that made her a household name from Atlanta to Amsterdam. She has built everything from the ground up, with her own talent, her own hustle, her own relentless refusal to be anything less than the baddest woman in every room she enters. And with one statement, she blows it all up. After deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with a divorce, she wrote. 11 years of marriage.
Gone. Just like that.
The internet lost its mind. The Bravoverse caught fire. And the man that Kandi Burruss had loved, supported, and, let's be real, significantly funded for over a decade, he was already calling his lawyers. He was already making moves. And those moves? They were about to cost Kandi Burruss $426,000. But here's the question that nobody is asking loudly enough. Did Kandi see this coming? Because the signs, honey, the signs were everywhere. The whispers were real. The warnings were real. And the woman who literally wrote the words, "No scrubs," one of the most iconic anthems about not settling for a man who isn't on your level, somehow found herself in a marriage that her own mother tried to warn her about from day one. So today we're going all the way in. The empire, the marriage, the betrayal, the courtroom chaos, the $426,000 check, the car collection that reads like a rap video, and the divorce that didn't just end a marriage, it cracked the entire Real Housewives of Atlanta foundation wide open. Buckle up, because this story has been brewing for a while. Let's get one thing completely straight before we go a single step further. Kandi Burruss did not stumble into success. She did not marry into it. She did not get a record deal because of who she knew or what she looked like. She earned it, every single dollar, every single Grammy, every single business venture, through decades of work that most people in this industry could not sustain for 3 months. We are talking about a woman who was co-writing #1 hits before she was old enough to rent a car. We are talking about someone who turned a music career into a television platform, turned that television platform into a restaurant empire, turned that restaurant empire into a production company, and somewhere in the middle of all of that also launched a successful adult novelty business and made her Broadway debut in Chicago. Kandi Burruss is not a celebrity. She is a corporation. She is a brand. She is a one-woman economic engine that has been running at full speed since the 1990s and has not stopped once. So when she walked onto the set of The Real Housewives of Atlanta in Season 1 and started building what would become one of the most compelling storylines in Bravo history, nobody was surprised. Because Kandi Burruss in a room is an event. She commands attention not through drama or chaos, but through sheer presence and the quiet, unshakable confidence of a woman who knows exactly what she has built and exactly what it is worth. And it was on that same show, the show that made her even more famous than she already was, that she met Todd Tucker, a television producer. Smooth, charismatic, a man who moved in her world, understood her industry, and knew exactly how to make a woman like Kandi feel seen. They met in 2011 during Season 4 of RHOA. They announced their engagement in 2013 and married in a lavish ceremony in April 2014. And from the outside, it looked like the perfect partnership. Two entertainment industry professionals, both ambitious, both driven, building a life and a legacy together. But here is what the cameras caught that the wedding photos didn't. From the very beginning, from literally before the ink was dry on the wedding invitations, there was one person in Kandi's life who was waving a red flag so large it could have been seen from space. Mama Joyce. Kandi's mother worried from the start that Todd was after her money.
Now,
Mama Joyce is a complicated figure. She has been dramatic on television. She has been unfair at times. She has stuck her nose into places it didn't belong. All of that is true. But sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the person who loves you most sees the things you are too close to see clearly. And Mama Joyce, from day one, looked at Todd Tucker and said, "This man is here for what Kandi has, not for who Kandi is." Kandi defended him. Kandi stood by him. Kandi went to couples therapy with him and aired their most intimate struggles on national television to show the world that their marriage was real and worth fighting for. And for a while it was. Or, at least it appeared to be. But appearances and reality have a way of slowly, painfully diverging. And the cracks in the Kandi-Todd empire were not sudden. They were not dramatic. They were the slow, grinding kind of cracks that develop over years of two busy people living parallel lives in the same house. As far back as 2020, the couple had discussed in couples therapy how their busy work schedules were making intimacy difficult. They were airing this on television in therapy, which means it was not a private struggle. It was a public one, a documented one, a struggle that millions of viewers watched and said, "I hope they make it," while somewhere in the back of their minds wondering if they actually would. And through all of it, the therapy, the tension, the rumors, the tabloid stories, Kandi kept working. She kept building. She kept showing up. Because that is what Kandi Burruss does. She shows up, even when she is breaking apart on the inside. In a December 2025 Instagram post, Kandi shared photos from throughout the year and revealed she had been struggling deeply and internally. She wrote about showing up for her family, her friends, and her business with a smile on her face while being emotionally broken inside. "This is what I look like when I'm going through something," she wrote. "In every pic of this video, I was internally dealing with something life-changing that most of the people in the pics with me had no clue of my inner stress and sadness." Read that again. The woman who was accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award at BravoCon, yes, the Lifetime Achievement Award, was already broken, already done, already aware that the marriage she was being publicly celebrated for was quietly disintegrating behind closed doors. RHOA fans had noticed that Kandi removed Tucker from her Instagram bio before the official announcement, and observers noted she seemed sad at BravoCon while accepting the award, and that Todd did not attend. The signs were all there, written in plain text, in her own bio, for anyone paying attention. And then came July 2025. Something happened. Kandi confirmed on Watch What Happens Live that it was in July when she knew for certain. Oh yeah, no. I can't do this anymore. But she refused to share the specific details publicly. She acknowledged there was a specific incident. She acknowledged it was definitive. And she said she was keeping it private. But the internet, as the internet always does, was not going to let that silence stand. Because around the same time that Kandi was processing whatever happened in July, the whispers were already starting. The rumors were already circulating. And the story that was beginning to emerge was one that nobody who had watched this marriage unfold on television was entirely shocked to hear. So let's talk about what the insiders were saying. Because when Kandi filed for divorce on November 21st, 2025, the floodgates did not just open, they absolutely exploded. Sources started talking. Court documents started surfacing. And the picture that was emerging was not the picture of a clean, mutual, amicable uncoupling between two people who had simply grown apart. It was messier than that. It was uglier than that. And it involved allegations that cut right to the heart of what Kandi Burruss had spent years trying to protect: her peace, her privacy, and her trust. An insider told people that Kandi was not happy because she had found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back and that she had no idea. No idea. The woman who has made a career out of being sharp, perceptive, and emotionally intelligent, who literally has a song called "Cheatin' on Me," had no idea. And if that does not tell you something about how good Todd Tucker was at keeping secrets, nothing will. The betrayal was real. The pain was real. And Kandi, to her immense credit, did not collapse. She did not spiral publicly. She went to Broadway. She threw herself into her role in the Broadway show and Juliet, and told the Today Show it had been the best therapy for her because sometimes you need something to put your focus into to keep your mind out of a sad place. She kept working. She kept building. Because that is the only language Kandi Burruss has ever truly spoken, the language of forward motion. But in the courtrooms of Fulton County, Georgia, things were moving in a very different direction. And Todd Tucker was not going quietly. From the moment Kandi filed, Todd came out swinging. His response to the divorce filing included a request for primary physical custody of their two children, Ace and Blaze, And his legal team also questioned the validity of their prenuptial agreement. Let that sink in. The prenup that Kandi's lawyers had drawn up to protect her empire. The document that was supposed to be the financial firewall between her hard-earned wealth and a contentious divorce. Todd's team was threatening to blow it up. They claimed the circumstances under which it was signed were questionable, raising what they called substantial questions about its enforceability. This was not a small legal maneuver. This was a direct attack on the protective structure that Kandi had put in place specifically to prevent exactly this kind of situation. And it sent a very clear message. Todd Tucker was not going to sign whatever was put in front of him and walk quietly out the door. Then came the custody fight, and this is where things got genuinely complicated and genuinely painful. Kandi initially asked for joint custody of their 2 kids, but changed her request to sole custody after Todd demanded primary custody. Todd's argument was strategic and pointed. He claimed that Kandi had been spending significant time working in New York while he was the one caring for the children back in Georgia. Kandi disputed his claims that he was the primary caregiver. And then the guest house situation emerged. And if you thought the custody battle was messy, the housing drama added a whole new layer of chaos. Kandi filed court documents alleging that Todd had been living in her Atlanta guest house without contributing financially, not paying a single expense including utilities, gas, lawn care, water, pest control, or the alarm system. Her guest house, her property she had purchased before the marriage. And according to her filing, Todd was living there rent-free while she was simultaneously being expected to finance everything. Kandi also alleged in the filing that Todd had not provided financial support for their children despite attending their birthday parties and presenting himself publicly as an active father. Attending birthday parties, posting on Instagram, presenting as a present, engaged, devoted father, while allegedly not contributing to the actual financial cost of raising 2 children. This is the gap between public image and private reality that makes celebrity divorces so simultaneously fascinating and infuriating to watch. Because the world was seeing the birthday party photos. The world was not seeing the court filings. And when those filings became public, the reaction was immediate and electric. But here is the twist. The twist that Kandi herself had to come out and address directly because the internet was spinning completely out of control. Kandi appeared on The Breakfast Club to address the divorce and push back against the narrative that Todd had wanted to take her for everything she had. She wanted to set the record straight. She wanted the public to understand that what was happening in court was not a clean villain versus victim story. It was 2 people with lawyers negotiating a complex financial and emotional settlement after 11 years of shared life. And in February 2026, she appeared on Watch What Happens Live and confirmed something that shut down one of the biggest internet rumors almost immediately. Kandi confirmed that Todd was not contesting their prenuptial agreement, clarifying that while his lawyers had threatened to contest it as a negotiating tactic, the prenup itself was never actually challenged in court. The threat had been a pressure play, a negotiating chip, not a genuine legal assault on her financial protections. And then on March 24th, 2026, just days before their 12th wedding anniversary, a Fulton County Superior Court judge signed the final judgment and decree of divorce. It was over, officially, legally, permanently over. The settlement included an equalization payment of $426,388.77, $250,000 due upon execution of the agreement, and the remaining $176,388.77 due within 90 days. No child support, no spousal support, just one clean, massive check and a shared parenting plan that divided their children's time equally, 182.5 days per year for each parent. And then there was the car collection. Oh, the car collection. Kandi walked away with a 2022 Bentley SUV, Cadillac Escalade, Ford F-250, Porsche Cayenne, and a 1963 Chevrolet Camaro. Todd departed with a Mercedes G-Wagon, Porsche 911, Range Rover, 1973 Ford Bronco, 1963 Lincoln, and a Ford Transit van. Plus, they split their American Express points right down the middle and sold a food truck together. Because even in divorce, even in the legal demolition of a marriage, The life they had built together was so layered, so entangled, so deeply interwoven with assets and logistics and shared history that it took a judge, 2 legal teams, months of back and forth, and a 400-page parenting plan to finally separate it all. Todd was also required to vacate Kandi's guest home within 15 days of the parenting agreement being signed, finally bringing an end to the squatter drama that had played out publicly for months. He was leaving. The settlement was signed. The chapter was closed. But the story? The story was nowhere near finished. Here is what nobody prepares you for when a marriage like this one ends. The public fallout does not stop when the judge signs the papers. It does not stop when the lawyers go home. It does not stop when both parties release their carefully worded statements about co-parenting and mutual respect and focusing on the children. The public fallout takes on a life of its own. It grows and mutates and spreads in directions nobody anticipated, and it forces everyone watching to reckon with questions about celebrity, wealth, loyalty, and what it means to build a life with another person in front of a television audience of millions. And for Kandi Burruss, the aftermath of this divorce was not just about her marriage. It was about what her marriage had represented to an entire generation of Real Housewives viewers who had watched her fall in love, get engaged, walk down the aisle, have children, fight for her marriage and therapy on camera, and then finally let it go. Because Kandi and Todd were not just 2 people. They were a symbol. They were, for many RHOA fans, the proof that something real and lasting could emerge from the manufactured drama of reality television. They had met on the show. They had built their relationship on the show. They had navigated their hardest moments, Mama Joyce's interference, the intimacy struggles, the scheduling conflicts, the rumors, all of it on the show. And when it ended, it did not just feel like a personal loss for Kandi. It felt like a loss for everyone who had invested in their story. The Real Housewives of Atlanta had lost its anchor couple. The show that had watched them fall in love was now going to have to reckon with watching them co-parent from separate households. But let's talk about the deeper story here, because the Kandi-Todd divorce did not happen in a vacuum. It happened against the backdrop of a marriage that had been showing stress fractures for years. Stress fractures that were visible on camera, documented in court filings, and whispered about in the circles around them long before Kandi ever picked up a pen and signed those divorce papers. Kandi revealed that her decision to end the marriage stemmed from a specific situation in July 2025, though she declined to share further details publicly. She said simply that it happened in July, and that she knew then that she could not continue. Something crossed a line that could not be uncrossed. Something broke something that could not be repaired. And while Kandi has chosen to protect the privacy of that specific moment, which is completely her right and, frankly, an admirable act of restraint in an era where oversharing is the default, the internet filled that silence with every theory imaginable. The alleged cheating rumors burned through social media like wildfire. The claims about other women. The claims about secret relationships. The claims about Kandi herself. Rumors emerged of Todd being in a relationship with another woman, and separate allegations about Kandi having a girlfriend, and the couple having had an open marriage. Most of these claims came from unnamed sources and anonymous social media accounts. Most of them were unverified. But most of them spread anyway, because in the information ecosystem of 2025 and 2026, a compelling rumor moves faster than a verified fact, every single time. And the people in Kandi and Todd's orbit were not shy about feeding the machine. YouTube bloggers, Instagram commentators, blind item sites. Everyone had a source. Everyone had a tip. And Kandi, who had specifically gone to court to try to seal her divorce proceedings to protect her children from exactly this kind of public exposure, watched it all spill out anyway. In a February appearance on Watch What Happens Live, Kandi shared that while discussions around the divorce could become tense, both she and Todd had made an effort to stay respectful, noting that they still showed up together for their children, including attending their son's basketball games side by side. That image, 2 people who are legally ending their marriage, sitting next to each other at a 10-year-old's basketball game, is somehow both heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. Because it says something important about who Kandi Burruss is at her core. She built an empire. She endured a painful public betrayal. She fought a custody battle in court while performing 8 shows a week on Broadway. And through all of it, she showed up for her kids. She never put her pain ahead of their stability. She never weaponized the divorce against Todd in public, even when she had every reason and every opportunity to do so. And now, here is the part that the settlement documents reveal that nobody is talking about enough. The custody arrangement includes a media clause prohibiting either parent from filming, recording, or authorizing the children's appearance in any media without the other parent's written consent. Any earnings the children receive from media appearances are to be placed in a custodial account, a 529 plan, or a trust established in their names. Think about what that clause represents. These are 2 public figures, both of whom built their public profiles partly through their children's visibility on RHOA, now legally bound to protect those children from being used as content without mutual agreement. It is a remarkable acknowledgement of how much the lines between family life and entertainment product had blurred during their marriage. And it is a contractual commitment to making sure that Ace and Blaze Tucker are children first and television personalities never again, without both parents' blessing. The parenting plan also assigns specific decision-making authority to each parent. Kandi holds final say over non-emergency health care and education for both children, while Todd holds final say over extracurricular activities. It is a careful, deliberate division of authority that reflects not just legal compromise, but a genuine attempt to create a functional co-parenting structure for 2 people who will be in each other's lives, not as husband and wife, but as parents for the rest of their lives. Because Ace is 10, Blaze is 6. There are graduations and recitals and college applications and first heartbreaks and weddings somewhere in the future of those 2 children. And Kandi and Todd will be at all of them, standing next to each other, smiling for the photos, putting their children first regardless of what is happening between them. That is not a small thing. That is, in fact, an enormous thing. And it is the part of this story that gets lost in the noise of the $426,000 check and the car collection and the guest house drama and the cheating rumors. The real story, the story underneath the settlement documents and the court filings and the social media explosions, is about a woman who gave everything to a marriage, discovered that the marriage was not what she thought it was, and chose to protect her peace and her children rather than her image or her pride. Kandi said she had no regrets because the relationship with Todd gave her 2 wonderful, beautiful children. No regrets. After all of that, after the betrayal and the courtroom drama and the public humiliation of having her divorce become content for 1,000 Instagram accounts. No regrets, because Ace and Blaze exist. And they're worth every single painful moment of everything that came before. But let's be clear about what this divorce means for the larger RHOA universe, because it means something. It means the show that premiered in 2008 and became a cultural phenomenon has officially lost the couple that gave it some of its most emotionally resonant storytelling. It means that the woman who has appeared in 14 seasons of that show, who has been its most consistent and most genuinely compelling cast member, is now entering a new chapter, alone, powerful, and more focused than ever. Kandi Burruss is a Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, actor, producer, and restaurateur who recently returned to Broadway in And Juliet. She is not slowing down. She is not retreating. She is not hiding. She is building. Again. Always building. Because that is who she has always been, long before Todd Tucker, long before RHOA, long before the wedding and the babies and the guest house drama and the $426,000 settlement check. Kandi built the empire. The divorce cost her $426,000 and 11 years. And she is still standing, stronger, sharper, and more unapologetically herself than ever before. The Real Housewives of Atlanta will never be the same. And honestly, neither will Kandi Burruss. But different does not mean diminished. And if her entire career has taught us anything, it is that when Kandi Burruss decides to rebuild, she builds something better than what came before. So here we are, at the end of a story that is really just the beginning of a new one. Because Kandi Burruss at 49 years old, post-divorce, post-Broadway, post-empire consolidation is not a woman in decline. She is a woman in transition. And if the last 3 decades of her career have shown us anything, transitions look a lot like launch pads when Kandi is involved. But let me ask you some real questions before you go, because this story deserves real questions. How does a woman who literally wrote No Scrubs, a song about not giving your time to a man who is not worth it, end up writing a $426,000 check to a man walking out the door? Is that irony? Is that tragedy? Or is it simply the complicated, messy, deeply human reality that love does not follow the rules that art creates? How does the most financially savvy woman on Bravo, the woman with the prenup, the lawyers, the business empire, still end up feeling blindsided by the man she trusted most? And what does it say about the culture of Real Housewives that we watched this marriage in living color for over a decade, cheered for it, celebrated it, and now we are here, sorting through the wreckage of a settlement agreement and a parenting plan? And the biggest question of all, the one that nobody in this story can fully answer yet: what actually happened in July 2025? What was the specific incident that made Kandi Burruss look at her marriage and say, oh yeah, no, I can't do this anymore? She has the right to keep that private. She has exercised that right beautifully. But we all know that one day, in a memoir, in an interview, in a moment when the children are older and the dust has fully settled, that story is going to come out. And when it does, it is going to reshape every assumption we currently have about how this marriage ended. Until then, we watch. We wait. We root for Kandi because rooting for Kandi Burruss is one of the easiest things in the world to do. And we remember that empires are not measured by who was there at the founding, they are measured by who is still standing when the battles are over. Kandi is still standing. That is the whole story. If this hit different, if this made you think, if you believe that the real stories, the real receipts, and the real questions are always worth asking, you know exactly what to do. Hit that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Mama Joyce right all along? Did Todd play the long game? And was that $426,000 the price of peace or the price of freedom? Subscribe if you have not already, because we are just getting started. The stories are not slowing down, and neither are we.
Stay loud.
Stay curious, and never stop asking the questions that actually matter.